Hello, I am Professor Julio Rezende. Today I will be talking about the space launch and transportation system. Uh, our motivation related to this presentation is present topics related to our travel to Moon and Mars. We will be talking about the systems of three different countries, China, Russia, and United States. In the case of China, the rocket Long March. In the case of Russia, the Soyuz rocket in related to the United States, the Space Launch System, Dragon capsule by SpaceX and Starship. Okay. Related to Long March, the Long March is a rocket family and was developed by China Aerospace Science Technology Corporation. And there is many different rockets that achieved great innovation during the years, during the decades. And some achievements are related to human space flights. The Long March rockets have been used to transport crews and in the Chinese space program. Also, the space station construction, in the case of the China space station, called Tiangong, that we'll be talking more about, and also commercial launch services. Here's the image of the Long March rocket, and this is the station Tiangong that was created with the support and operations of the rocket uh, Long March, okay, and also showing the image of the Chinese astronauts aboard of the station. Long March presents different launch centers, Shigang Satellite Launch Center, Wenchang Spacecraft Launch Site, and Taiwan Satellite Launch Center. Also, Hainan International Commercial Aerospace Launch Site. Uh, Also, one of the sites in Wenchang, here the location of this facility, and also the station in the Hainan, the station, the launch center of Wenchang. Now I'll be talking about the Russian initiative, the Soyuz. The Soyuz is the Russian vehicle and with more than 60 years of use. And also there is a QR code for a very interesting video about the Soyuz. And it's the first crewed spacecraft in the world and also to transport humans to space and use it during Vostok program and was responsible for Yuri Gagarin historic flight during April 12, 1961. It's possible to see many features in this spacecraft. Also the crew seats and also the optomode. And in this case, you can see the optomodule, the descent module, and also the instrumentation and propulsion module here. Three, uh, the three main parts. The Soyuz presents also characteristics of resupply the International Space Station with cargo missions during many years, and also very useful for long duration space flights. Here, an image of the Soyuz connected with International Space Station with one of the docks. And it's one interesting characteristics is the emergency abort system that is possible save the astronauts from a possible unpleasant situation, and also it's possible to see how the crewwood model can be saved in a case of accident or in a risk situation during the launching. Uh, in this case, Soyuz will be important for space missions to Mars and Moon as planned by Roscosmos. And also commercial crew transport, and the Soyuz just transports some tourists to International Space Station. and presents a great characteristic in terms of reliability and safety. Very, the astronauts has a great trust in the hardware of the Soyuz. An image of the astronauts in the seats in the crewed capsule. And something interesting is see how the great force presented by this rocket during the launching stage one is possible achieve almost four Gs during the launching, also almost 3 Gs during the stage two. And when happens the separation of stage two and start the operation of stage three, also the experience of 3G and arriving in the third stage separation, the spacecraft just in the space beyond carbon limits, and when the astronauts experience the 0G. And also the location of the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Also some photos of the launch site of Baikonur. And also how the rocket is assembled, how the capsule is put inside of the payload area. Also the transportation of the propulsion components for the rocket. Also the astronauts coming to the main seats, to the crew seats. Yes. Okay, now this part of the presentation we'll be talking about different initiatives led by NASA and also with partnership with SpaceX, and some more detailed plans to explore and to arrive on Moon. First, we'll be talking about the Space Launch System, SOS. And also, SOS is one of the components of the Artemis program. Is a heavy vehicle developed by NASA to transport human to Mars, or in this case, to Moon. And also one image representing the Space Launch System. Also, social media and journalists waiting for the launching here of the Artemis 1, and some roadmap related to how the NASA imagined the operation of the Space Launch System, and also the capsule Orion, and how this would be arriving on Moon. Okay, but now the program, the lunar program based in Space Launch System, SOS, is under it's being necessary update about the dates, because they have more details about plans for 2026, but and also for 2028. But this program need to be revised in terms of years when one of these actions will be developed. Here, there is more details about how would be the gateway, the orbitary station on Moon, to give support to the operations on on the on the Moon surface, and also the components of capsule Orion. There is a service mode and also a crew module. Okay, more images about, also a comparison between Orion, the new spacecraft, and the Apollo more than 50 years ago. Okay, and how would be the process of preparation to land on Moon? Also more details about the gateway station, also with propulsion systems, habitation module, and multipurpose module, and Orion spacecraft. And also here in a photo showing the landing on Moon. Okay, the Moon landing, how would be in the next years. Space Launch System, SOS, presents good points and weak points. Related to cargo, can transport a good capacity of cargo, but it's extreme expensive. Also presents a payload area that allows to transport many components, but also it's possible to see a limited number of launches per year. In this case, decreasing the quantity of payload to be transported. Also, there is a heritage from the previous space missions that brings reliability, but is considered old technology that not so much competitive when compared with the systems proposed by SpaceX. Okay, and one weak point is not be reusable, the rockets. Okay, and also in terms of we can see from NASA as a lot of bureaucracy that lets this process more is low to be developed. Yes, and other points that brings some difficulties and challenges for Space Launch System program. Now we'll be talking more about how the Launch Center works, some topics like also how the vehicles are assembled, the mission control center, communication with the astronauts, launch verification checklist, and astronaut quarantine. Here's a photo in front of the Vehicle Assembly Building, VAB. And also there is this image showing different space systems that were assembled aboard of the Vehicle Assembly Building since the Saturn V, later Space Shuttle, and more recently the Space Launch System. The rockets produced in the United States present suppliers from many cities and specialized companies that contributes for the space program. Okay, each company is engaged to build a different component to build the space systems developed and used by NASA. Okay, here one of the main components, the booster of SLS here, as you can see, has a great complexity to deal. And these components are transported to the VAB, and then there is a transfer area, and these components are assembled here aboard of the VAB, as you can see here. Yes. And later, the rockets are transported in the crawler and for the place where the launching will be happening. Here, a photo showing how is the transport of the rocket to the launch site. Yes. Yes, one of the space shuttles on displays on Kennedy Space Center. Okay. And the space shuttles were very important to build the International Space Station. And this system was very strategic for the future of space activities, okay? And also there is the space shuttles now, the Starship, not the Starship, the SpaceX rockets, the Falcon rockets are using these facilities, these sites on Kennedy Space Station for launching. Okay, and also here this image representing how is the preparation for the launching of the Space Launch System. In the case, there is the Launch Control Center presents two main facilities. The Launch Center Control based in Kennedy Space Center, and also the Mission Control Center based in Johnson Space Center located in Houston, Texas. Okay. And the Mission Control Center starts the operation since happens the launching. It starts the communication with astronauts and is verify the trajectory adjustments and monitoration. Okay, this is the photo of the Launch Control Center in the Kennedy Space Center. Also, there is big windows for to follow the launching of the rockets. And here is it's a closed like with no windows in the Mission Control Center, based in NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Okay, and now we'll be talking about other experience led by SpaceX, the Dragon capsule and the Starship. Also, the Dragon capsules travels aboard of uh, the Falcon Heavy or Falcon 9 here. And something very important is is the characteristics of reutilization of these rockets, bringing great efficiency and economy for the space launches. And also, Elon Musk developed the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, and now is developing the Starship rocket. And the idea was presented during 2017 during the International Astronautical Congress that happened in Adelaide, Australia. And since 2017, they created a starbase in the Boca Chica, Texas, and a great rocket industry there to build the new generation of Starship. Here's some photos of some effort like during May 5th, 2021, or for the first time, a component of the Starship landed in the site. Since this time, happened a lot of progress, and now with using the connection between the Starship and also the booster. And recently, during 2025, happened an accident, bringing great damage for the launch center. And now, during the second semester of 2025, SpaceX is recovering from this great accident that destroyed part of the launch center. And something interesting about the Starship is the features relate to a great capacity of payload, presenting a diameter of 9 meters that would be very useful to transport components of a station on Moon or Mars, and uh, and also with great contribution for space activities on Moon or Mars here. And also there is a comparison between the payload areas of different space systems, transportation systems, and Starship would be like the larger diameter capacity with 9 meters of diameter here. Also, all the image from the Dragon capsule here connected to this was in Kennedy Space Center, and also the preparation for one of the launches, crewed missions to International Space Station. Some features: the Dragon capsule presents 4 meters of diameter and other with an area of the propulsion systems and also the crew capsule and other features. Okay, here the astronauts of the Crew 7 waiting for the launching. Okay, and I'll be talking more about the case of Crew 7 mission. We follow closely because we participate in a program called NASA Social, and we can see the launching of Crew 7 aboard of the Dragon capsule presents more important 4 phases. The preparation, the launching that happened during August 25th, 2023. I was there. And activities aboard of International Space Station, and also the return to Earth that happened March 12, 2024, around 7 months later. Okay. Photo of the astronauts aboard of Crew 7. Yes, and Satoshi from JAXA, the Japan Space Agency. Konstantin from Russia, and Jasmine is a U.S. Marine Corps pilot, and she was the commander in the Crew 7, and Anders Mogensen from Denmark. These were the 4 astronauts in this mission, okay? And communication in space, the case of NASA social program, the idea of NASA social programs bring social media influencers to communicate about the mission, press conference with officers, specialists, journalists, and astronauts. This was part of the influencers and social media uh, influencers that had participation in this mission, in the launching of the Crew 7. Yes, also one press conference with Lucas Parmitano. Lucas Parmitano is the astronaut of the European Space Agency. Also photo with Bill Nelson, former president, former administrator of NASA. And since the astronauts are in the Kennedy Space Center, starts the process of quarantine. This is a photo of Apollo mission quarantine. This is the photo of Crew 7 quarantine. Here, the astronauts examining the features of the capsule Dragon. Okay. Why astronauts need a quarantine time before the mission is for prevention of illness spread, also protection of mission success. If an astronaut were to become ill shortly before or during the mission, it could jeopardize the success of the mission or even the safety of the crew. In this case, the quarantine contributes to minimize the exposure to potential sources of infection and reducing risks of illness during critical phase of the mission. It's also for the adaptation to microgravity and evaluation of health status and psychological preparation. To conclude, we will be talking shortly about the launching. This is the photo of the Crew 7 launching aboard of the Dragon capsule in a rocket of SpaceX in a Falcon 9. And some goals or how typical is managed the rocket launching. That is a pre-launch preparation with mission planning, crew planning, payload integration. Second moment is countdown and pre-launch checks. That happens a countdown sequence and pre-launch checks when engineers conduct final checks on the rocket. And happens the launch sequence with ignition, liftoff, and vertical ascent. Which systems are verified during a rocket launching? Are verified the propulsion system, avionics and guidance systems, structural integrity, electrical systems, safety systems, and ground infrastructure. Okay, and after this time of launching happens the moment of travel, and also from Earth to International Space Station in the case of Crew 7, and also in the future travels to Moon or travels to Mars in the case of the use of Starship rocket. Okay. Thanks so much for your attention. Follow us in social media looking for Habitat Marte. Thanks so much.